This Stanley Cup playoffs and USFL picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN, and then head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner of picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
I'm going straight white. Give me this sword. Give me the sword.
There you go.
We're on the ice.
We're on the ice. Blades of Steel joining us here to talk NHL playoffs. You know him, you love him. From Bottom Line Bombs, CJ Sullivan, aka the man in the box. What's happening, CJ?
Hey, thank you. Yes.
Here he is.
It.
Let him out of the box.
Into the box and onto the ice. That's what I love. I love ice bomb hockey playoffs.
Oh, yes.
Because they're the funniest sport of them all. And that's where I get my picks with bits.
And yeah, hockey, great sport to get down. We will be joined by Rum Dundee later on the show.
Yes.
Talk a little USFL picks coming off a heater of a week for myself on the USFL. But we're here talking conference finals here for the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm rocking my whale tail shirt too for the show.
Yes, love it. You got the Hartford Whalers shirt on. It's got to be one of the, as far as like defunct franchises that are no longer around, that you still see people rocking the gear. Sonics probably right up there. Why the logo is so good? I don't know why they ever got rid of it. Like, do we need a team in Carolina? Can't you just put it in Hartford?
It's ridiculous.
You could probably say the same thing about do we need a team in Connecticut? I know I'm for the.
I think come on, Hartford Whalers has to do better than the Arizona. The
Phoenix
Arizona
Coyotes.
team. Phoenix Coyotes.
On, Sean. I thought you were a puckhead.
I was gonna call the Phoenix Coyotes. They're like no one goes to their stadium.
It was a terrible era when they were just they didn't care if you were doing well or not. They were just taking you out where there was just more money.
Wayne Gretzky was flush with gambling cash. He's like, hey, come down to Arizona.
Like Minnesota went to Dallas, and Minnesota North Stars is one of the greatest franchises. And like if he can't support hockey in Minnesota, you know, when it's all they talk about.
And now,
but it is a hilarious list of teams left: the Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes, Dallas Stars, Vegas Golden Knights. What is the coldest, or what's the coldest temperature in these four cities right now?
Easily the casinos in Vegas.
I guess the AC, but like Carolina Hurricanes,
the dry heat. You know?
Yeah, they were the whale tail. And another reason, real quick, just on the whale tail. They personify hockey because they played inside of a mall. Yeah, and malls and mall parking lots for the Jersey Devils, like parade, like the malls and hockey go together.
Yes,
you know, the mall trash, and that's
perfect match. Although I'm sure now that we're canceling logos, canceling mascots, Whalers not the most progressive thing of guys who literally went out and hunted whales. I don't know if it would be
right.
I mean, if we're getting rid of bullets, Whalers. It's not because they ride whales. It's because they went out and murdered whales for their blubber so they could burn oil.
Which, by the way, if you want to really be humbled as a human and a man, go look up the folks that live in like the Southeast Islands. Yeah, they still to this day from fucking canoes will hunt whales.
Yeah.
With spears, they jump off the boat full on like spearing. I understand people might be offended by this, but A, they're feeding their fucking island. B, that's some grown man shit.
That's why I love that show Whale Wars that used to be having where it was like they weren't as noble as those guys. They were like Japanese, like oil on these huge ships, and then like going against them were like these Greenpeace people, but they were like independently funded by like these rich billionaires.
Stop.
Yeah, and they would have like hoses because they didn't believe in weapons. they put out our hoses, and then the real boats would come out and just blast them civil rights style like into the water. And it was amazing watching hippies get blasted in the face with hoses.
Playing by the rules in international waters is a dangerous predicament to get yourself into.
And perfect transition to some Stanley Cup playoff picks. Yes. Before we do that, CJ, you are the inventor of the Ice Dog system. Can you give us an update on how the Ice Dogs are doing?
The Ice Dog system of the NHL playoffs.
Hold on, we got.
Yes,
debuting.
I'll put it on the screen
so CJ can see.
Yes,
we did do
That's
pretty awesome Photoshop. YouTube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jake who put that together.
The only thing I'm insulted is that he kept the James Corden.
No.
Kept the name.
The audience can't see that,
but it is fantastic.
I did crop that from the video.
Okay.
Because I didn't want you to be offended by the James Corbin
I'm
thing.
not, but I don't mind my man Cuba staying up there.
Cuba's cool as shit.
Absolutely.
Look at those dogs too. They photoshopped the dogs and make them all smile.
Yeah.
Look at those friendly.
Well, there's one dog clearly evil with those dark set eyes.
Yeah, and that's the one in the middle. Telling the other dogs to do his bidding and go out there and get that plus money winners.
Get those covers.
CJ does look like a like the badge, the devil shoulder guy in this situation.
I can see that.
Just like, hey man, just why don't you add one more leg to that parlay?
I know.
No big deal.
My problem is I had two devils on my shoulders. One guy would say to the other, like, yeah. Then I put on the other guy. I'm like, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. Why don't you listen to him?
Oh yeah, the over and the under.
one for me, it's the initial bet is the devil guy, and then the other devil is the guy. Like, we like both those teams. Why don't you parlay those together? Perfect.
Some call that the dragon.
Yes.
Perfect transition to our new sponsor. This is a pretty cool program, Edge Boost, the world's first ever bet now, pay later Visa card. You've seen this with Affirm Afterpay. Again, no interest. If you think this is some sort of loan sharking thing, it is no interest. You pay back the advance over 4 equal weekly installments. Very easy to use. Deposit funds into your account. Edge Boost will match the deposit so you can use 2x the funds on any legal sports betting site. They offer up to $2,500 in advances. The first 500 SGPN users get a $1,000 advance limit. Next 2,500 users get 500. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/edge to sign up today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/edge. Must be 21 years or older to use. Only valid in legal gambling states. Betting problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. My Edge Boost double down play of the day
let me hear this, Sean.
What?
No, I want to hear the double down boost.
Okay, the double down boost. I was gonna go back. Do I go back to the six? You know what? I'm gonna save it for the USFL portion. But I think my Philadelphia Stars, not necessarily outright win, but +7. Love that.
Wait, I gotta look into the fine print, but I would get Stetson Bennett Rookie of the Year.
You know what, Ryan?
Action's not gonna happen for a while.
Actually, I'm gonna go back to the PGA. We just did our PGA Championship picks podcast. Kramer and I got down on the group play. I think when we gave it out, Joaquin Neiman was 70-1. I found a site that had it 90-1. So we doubled up on that. Edge Boost, double down, play of the day. Joaquin Neiman to win the PGA Championship. All right, let's do it. Florida Panthers at the Carolina Hurricanes. Game one. We'll talk game one. Laying 1.5 +180 on the puck line there, -145 on the money line. Panthers +125 dog, total sitting at 5.5.
Yes.
Where are you at here with game one, CJ?
Well, real quick, I do want to explain that the ice dog system they have up there.
We didn't get it.
It's okay. I'll do it real quick.
It was just a setup for the Photoshop. But
and that's all I needed to see.
I accidentally showed everyone the blob photo.
Okay.
I'll put it back here.
If you listen to the Bottom Line Bombs, which you should have me subscribing to, it went 10-2.
Wow.
During the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. But
that's why the dogs are happy.
That's why the dogs are happy. It went 10-2, and not just 10-2, 10-2 over like 10.5 units because it was
because it's plus money.
Because it's all plus money. What you do is you play hockey. Rarely do the teams go 2-0 to start off the series, the home team. So you're going to play the dog. You blind bet the dog, just like, splitting kings.
Love this. No, I don't love splitting kings.
I
love this.
Splitting aces. But you blind bet it, and if they win, great. You go home. You're done with that series, or at least the first 2 games. Then you can wrap it up. You got your winner. If he loses, you come right back to game 2. You hit that plus money again. One of them should win. Is the theory.
Yeah.
And that went 10, and a lot of them. The reason why I cleaned up the first round, a lot of them won that game 1.
Yeah, so if you win the game 1, you don't obviously need to roll.
You
it
don't
over
need to play game 2. So you
walk away.
Profit. Now, funny enough, the only 2 losses were both Carolina, the old Hartford Whalers.
Really?
Well, and now
they went 2-0 at home both rounds.
Very rare, but now do you run it over to the conference
well,
finals?
the system itself is a first 2-round system play.
Okay,
it doesn't go to the conference finals.
Good to know.
Cup. But these numbers do come in for it. And
you got to watch out though, because people love a good system, and when the system's too good, they're going to try to extend.
Yeah, it's like the first half
the
unders in college basketball. People want to run them to round 30, round Sweet 16.
I already did that when I pushed the numbers. You're supposed to not have a dog higher than like 140 plus 145.
Yeah.
But I was like, what's the fun in that? And luckily, it came in first round. All those 190s came in. Florida versus Boston.
Oh, that was juicy.
Kraken versus whoever they were. Who did they play in the first round? I even forget.
The Kraken faced the Colorado Avalanche.
That's right, the Avs, the champs.
Who no one gave them a chance.
Yeah.
Yes, my Stanley Cup Finals of Avalanche Bruins not looking
so
great
dumb,
right now.
too, because like avalanches never make it to the ocean. How would they ever destroy a Kraken?
But on this game itself, although all 4 of these games are a lot of coin flips, so the ice dog system would even make sense for here because it's a lot of. I expect both these to go 1-1, but I won't play it anyway. I like the over though in this game at 5.5 a lot.
Really,
Florida Carolina, because I think both goalies were playing very well the last game. It's not sustainable, and
yeah, I mean that I'm looking to fade the Panthers goalie in general. Like to me. You're saying not sustainable, and I'm with you. That's why I think Hurricanes to start it off at minus 145. I'm fine laying that because I just don't think it's Bobrovsky, right, for the Panthers. Like I just
Bobrovsky, and both these goalies came in mid playoffs, like they were the backups already in this playoffs, which happens a lot in hockey. But Bobrovsky came in game 4, I think, versus Boston. I mean, granted, he's been 7-2 since then. He's been playing well. But Alex Lyon was their starter.
Yeah, I just don't think he can sustain that kind of net minding, as the kids say.
And he's a bit kooky. We all know as ex-Flyer fans, that reality show they showed of him. He likes to do, which all goalies are, but he's definitely a little.
He's even crazy by NHL goalie standards, which is impressive. I'm going Canes here, laying minus 145 for game 1. Seems like a decent spot for them. Do you have a play on the side, CJ?
Well, I hate to go against system, but Carolina. That's why I'm very. I like Carolina.
Yeah.
And especially if they get who's that guy? Tuevo, who got hurt there. He's been out since a month. They said he might come back. And when they first had those 3 forwards get hurt, they thought they weren't gonna be able to score. That's why, but they have overcome that after the Islanders series. That's why I do like the over a lot there. But I do like Carolina at home. I mean, Florida. People have been questioning Florida all these whole playoffs, and this is actually the first time their line's not that great of a dog.
No,
you know what I mean. So,
and this is when it collapses, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we've seen this story before, where a team like Florida goes on a bit of a run. They finally run out of gas here. They've had 2 great series. I just don't think they got a third one.
And I will say Carolina home is a much better team than they are on the road for sure.
Is Bill Cowher still firing off the siren for the Hurricanes down there?
I like that. Kramer, what are your thoughts on this?
Wasn't
game?
Bill Cowher an owner or something at some point? He was doing something involved. Look, I just stumbled across some really concerning information about the Florida Panther, which apparently, people run these things over in Florida.
Really?
Imagine hitting a fucking it's basically a cougar. And this is what's concerning. The Florida Panther might not even be the Florida Panther anymore because not too long ago they introduced a group of 7 female Texas Cougars. And so they've been mingling.
Okay.
Who knows what's going on with the Florida Panthers, but I couldn't imagine hitting the deer is fucking scary enough, but imagine if that thing could pop up and eat you.
I mean, Florida's, but the way Florida is with animals down there, there's one they interact with them like it's nothing. Like, there's Petey the Panther.
It's,
he ate a homeless guy last week.
I will say,
like, what?
Right up there with Russia as far as their just acceptance of interacting with deadly and dangerous animals. Gators all the time.
Yeah, gators are like, don't get drunk and toss someone. That's what Bill did last week. He got his balls chipped off. Like, what?
I will say the sister lives in Florida, and it's just like, this is gator hanging out in the porch.
Right.
What the fuck?
They have names. They're part of the community. They're part of the community. Oh, that's Ollie. He gets grumpy after.
I did see a guy fight a gator with a frying pan. That was a pretty enjoyable. He did take down the gator.
It's also a stand your ground state. So
gator came right at him. He had nothing, and he defended himself with the frying pan.
Yeah. So
Kramer, do you still have the Ice Dogs thing up the entire?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I took it down.
No, it's just great.
Yeah.
Wait, CJ was doing his entire handicap with the Ice Dogs.
I took down the wrong one.
YouTube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast.
Yeah.
That subscribe button. See all the hijinks.
I'm mostly concerned just about the genetic purity of these Florida Panthers. I mean, at this point, we should just call them the Florida Cats. It's their state animal.
Yeah.
It's not even a purebred anymore.
How is that their state animal, too?
That's confusing. How are they not the Gators?
Yeah.
I mean,
Gators or bath
they didn't want to
salts
copy
or
the university.
Right.
That
probably is one of the reasons why, to be honest with you.
You got to take Carolina.
Right?
It's a super team.
Carolina's great. I would warn, though, against Florida. Like, they're not the Cinderella team that people want to be. They did not play better than Toronto, I think, in either game. That was kind of crazy.
Aren't we just taking...
so I think, if anything, they're going to come back up a little bit.
Long series?
Well, yeah, and moving over to the series price, Panthers are -190 on the series. Minus 190. That's plus 1.5 games on the spread. Hurricanes -1.5, plus 155. Minus 135 just for the Canes to win the series. Wow. Panthers only plus 115. I think you're getting a great price here. I'm not going to overthink it. Carolina minus 135. I think Panthers could win in 6, maybe even 5. Yeah. I think they're just a much better team. I mean, I even like Panthers series minus 135 better than game 1. But CJ, where are you at with the series? Do we have a number on the games for the series?
I honestly I couldn't find. I found some horribly juiced stuff at 5, and then I just found where you match the number of games.
Yeah.
But it sounds like, Sean, maybe you like Carolina minus 2.5 plus 330.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna add that to the slate because I think at plus 330. All right, that's a fun dog price because I could see them 4-0, 4-1. They just are such the better team, and it feels like the Panthers. I mean.
Well, Carolina.
It's one of those things. They can just go home having a great season already.
Yeah.
By what they did, they already had an awesome
South
season.
Florida's year.
They can get swept and still have an amazing season. Right. It is hockey, so I'm scared to go too crazy, dog. But Carolina minus 135 all day.
I think you're forgetting that main part of the argument. It is hockey.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they have been they've been underrated by the media and this their narrative. They do have some advanced numbers that say that was predicting that they could do well here.
Oh,
I mean, obviously getting through Boston was the hardest
some
part.
puckalytics.
Yeah, some absolutely. I'm talking what's some of my favorite stats, like the advanced
goals gained over
danger opportunities and things like that, enhanced danger opportunities. So Carolina is a short price. That is great, but I do see this going at least 6 or 7 games, just because I do think they're pretty even. It's pucks bouncing around. You're talking minus
2.5. I was getting
2.5 getting ambitious.
Also,
that's ambitious.
Florida did just play the team that chokes hardest in hockey, so there's also that.
But what I think was good about that is they had that letdown after Boston, and they did not play great against Toronto, but they faced a perfect opponent, the choking artist of Toronto. So now they can get back up. I already played Florida plus a game and a half at 165. I think it's at minus 190 now. You said,
yeah,
that's crazy.
So you're thinking more. You like the series to go long.
I like the series to go long, and if they're down 3-2 and they have to win a game 6 at home, they'll be the favorite in that game.
Okay,
I could always come back and play Carolina in that game or whatever.
So we'll give you a Florida plus 1.5 minus 165 because you're a sharp. You got that.
Yes.
You can hear that early action, and then over 5.5, whatever the price is.
I love the over 5.5 for sure.
I'm sticking with my guns. Carolina just minus 135.
That's a good price. It is.
Kramer.
Carolina wins 4-1 plus 470. Actually, hold on. Oh, interesting. Plus that's it. Shop around, guys. Plus 550.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I do not see this being short.
So that's the play. I'm going contrarian to the Ice Dogs.
You're saying blowout for the Canes. You got a Carolina 4-1 in the
series. Imagine CJ on one of those sleds.
Iditarod racing.
Oh yeah, come on.
That's the kind of thing I'm going to find myself doing.
Very disappointed in the network as a whole in our company ride. No one has pitched us any Iditarod odds, any sort of handicapping.
We might be getting an angry message from Adam after the show. He may have taken it.
That may have been in like the curling. Well, it's a sister sport. The curling.
You broke his heart when you canceled all Northern sports that one year.
Iditarod race during the COVID, didn't it? I think I remember having money on that.
Dogs weren't getting COVID.
We're not.
The Huskies were immune. They were fine. Cuba Gooding Jr. too. He was.
Let me say real quick.
Sure.
A stat that people have been throwing around about there that needs a footnote to it is Carolina's penalty kill. It is the number one penalty kill. They're great 5-on-5 and whatever. In a stat they were saying they had more shorthanded goals and power play goals allowed so far in playoffs. They've got 4 and they've given up 3. But the footnote is 3 of those goals came in that 8-4 loss versus the Devils in that game. It was all garbage time, back and forth, where it was wide open, and it was just those Ring Devils. Not to say their penalty kill's not bad, but that stat needs that
certainly pads the numbers.
Yes.
So what you like just Florida? You like the idea they're going to hang around in the series?
Going long. I like Carolina to win. I think Carolina is the better team, but I don't think it's a huge advantage.
Are the refs as crooked in the NHL as the NBA? Do they have a Scott Foster equivalent in the NHL?
Well, they are calling penalties now more often now, which is definitely.
Yeah, usually they put the whistle away in playoff hockey.
They used to not even bring them out, for the third period, whatever.
It's because they got the replay now.
Right.
They can't be as subjective with the replay.
I hate the hockey replay because they're like, let's see if someone's offside. Let's see if someone's finger touched that puck there. Has nothing to do with the play.
It is crazy. Stars, Knights. Stars are minus 230, plus 1.5. Game 1 on the puck line there. Knights minus 1.5, plus 195. Knights minus 125 on the money line. Stars plus 105. Total sitting at 5.5. CJ, start us off here. What are we doing? Stars, Knights.
Stars, Knights. This is a great series. Another coin flip, but this I'm going to come into my system because I'm very confident Dallas will get one of these games in Vegas. They have, if you want your puckalytics cream, high danger chance conversions. They lead 3 of the 4 danger chances.
That sounds like a variance stat.
Yeah,
I like it.
Absolutely. So if you are trying to break down hockey teams, and see who actually is better, the only way to do it is like with 5-on-5, like analytics, because they say power plays are hard to factor in there. But
you got an extra player,
right? Because you have to. But it's so. Also, you're talking about hockey, and I believe 90% of the goals are just pure luck. It comes around just the way the puck of deflections. I'm not saying they're not skilled; they're very skilled, but it's going around so fast, it has to have it, and they play for deflections. You know what I mean?
Imagine if basketball, the penalty was you lost a guy for a couple minutes.
All right, I know
that would be awesome.
It's amazing.
That would be great.
I mean, with hockey, it's like,
if you got in a fist fight and your penalty was to rest for a couple minutes, and then you go out there and go at it again. So
minor penalty for fighting, like in the NBA, they're calling the authorities like flagrant 2, intent.
So they are plus 115 for the first game here, I believe.
Yep. Plus 105.
Whatever it is. Short range. I want to play them. If they lose it again, I will play them.
So you're going Dallas.
Well, yeah.
Maybe.
Like I said, if it's game 1, then I'll sit.
Official Ice Dog play on the Stars.
That is official Ice Dog play on definitely Dallas Stars. And also, speaking of regression and bouncing back, Jake Ettinger, the Otter. I love a goalie. You have to have a good nickname for the goalie. He had a horrible series last year, but he was great all year and the series before that versus Minnesota. I expect him to bounce back. And Vegas had a wide open. They basically had an empty net with Skinner there for Edmonton. It's going to be a lot.
He was off. Yeah. He was doing. And I watched a couple of those games. He was doing stuff that just made he was super loose with leaving the net and.
He was just terrible. And the fact that they put him
a lot of great Simpson gifs of Oilers fans,
right,
getting fired up.
The fact they even played him in that game 6 was a nightmare. No, I mean. I had a lot of Edmonton Future tickets, but and then they played it at midnight, whatever, ESPN which is hilarious. Sunday, ESPN not giving a shit about hockey.
Well, they don't.
Throwing it out there.
They don't.
They put it after the George Michael Sports Machine. I didn't even know that was still in air.
Spitting in Canada's face.
We want to watch Succession first. We'll put you on after that. And then,
I mean, Vegas, you look at the stats, Vegas pretty stout here. First in the league, goals per 60 at 3.4, Dallas fifth at 2.69, goals against per 60, Vegas second in the league at 1.7, Dallas 2.79.
Another one, though, their goalie, Aiden Hill, played out of his mind versus Edmonton. He came in as a backup for an injury, and then all of a sudden he let up let up the first 2 shots he got on the goals and then shut them down.
Dallas, though,
was impossible.
Yeah, Dallas, as far as digging into the stats, Dallas noted edge in the power play percentage and penalty kill. So again, if they are going to be calling penalties, does seem like this would benefit the Dallas team.
Vegas is terrible at penalty kills, by the way.
Yeah, in game 1 and for the series. Kramer, are you going to do it? Or are you going to pick Dallas?
Well, it does annoy me that they stole a franchise from the North, and then they tried to be like, Stars, just like our football team.
Right.
That's super annoying. No, but I am concerned because you know what male otters are called? Dogs.
Really?
Yes.
This dude might have some dog in him. No, obviously not. Vegas is our second home, Sean.
We're Knights boys through and through.
I stupidly, those who like the Easter eggs, I stupidly said a team from Canada was going to win the cup the last time we were talking hockey. My bad. So to make amends,
so Kramer
I am wearing a USA t-shirt.
Yeah. Again, we clinched the Stanley Cup. No, we didn't get any congrats from the Canadian listeners.
I know. Unfortunate. 30 years.
But really,
tough drought.
This is to crowbar in another international sport. The United States just stole a massive player from England in the world soccer stuff. So our mission to win the World Cup in 2026, Sean, we're getting closer. Anyway, back to hockey.
I'm auto faded Dallas. I do like the Knights.
Dallas is good though. Apparently, if we weren't auto fade Dallas guys, we should be looking that way.
It's a system play.
What happens first? Dallas Stars get eliminated from the playoffs, or Zeke signs with an NFL team.
Oh, I mean, Dallas gets eliminated for sure.
There's
no one signing Zeke. No one's signing.
2 reports now.
They want to see if he can make it through July, and not put on 20 pounds.
2 reports have come out stating that Zeke, like the issue with Zeke signing a contract is Zeke feels he should be a starter.
Yeah, he's in denial.
He's not willing to go to a team where there's going to be a competition.
That's amazing.
He's like Carson Wentz. If Carson Wentz wore belly shirts,
Seattle Sea Dragons are looking for a running back.
Yeah.
If he's
unquestioned starter for the Dragons.
If he wants to,
he can get a referral from Danucci too.
You put him on the Philadelphia Stars right now. They finally get that run game going. All right, series price. Stars are the dog at +115. Knights -135. You can lay a game and a half +150 for the Knights, or you can get the game and a half and take the Stars -185. CJ, you have the ice, you have the rink. What are we doing?
Oh, I like that. And also, Kramer, I have to believe real quick your Minnesota North Star love is from.
It's not from anywhere.
I believe it was a Paisan Dino Cicerelli, though. I mean, all Paisans loved Dino Cicerelli growing up when I was coming up.
You mispronounced Italian American.
I got Dallas +120 in the series, and I took them in 6 +475. That's my favorite play when I do the dog, is to get them to win at home in 6.
Yeah, you were chirping about that
right.
with the Kraken.
Kraken, I almost got it. And the theory is they're not going to win as a big dog on the road in the 7. I was wrong. They did do that in Colorado. That was amazing, and they almost did it again in Dallas. But even though I had Dallas last for the series, but we were all over the Kraken in that game 6. Yeah, I
missed the Kraken already, Sean.
Yeah, what's cracking?
But yeah, I like that. I like Dallas in the series. I think they're the better team, so I'm obviously going to take them as a dog.
Yeah, you getting that +120 price. I'll just continue the Vegas Golden Knights love at -135. I think this should be a great series. I'll take the home team. I mean, it's
Vegas does have the better
amateur
stars,
handicapping,
sure.
but
well, they have the better stars and they're healthy now.
Yeah,
and their home ice advantage is real.
Yeah, they show up for that. That city shows up for that team.
When they first came out, they used to do those like legit Vegas shows before the game. Like they had like the mascots like doing like Cirque du Soleil going out on the ice. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing television. Like they were doing it for half an hour. Then there was those like
distracting.
Right.
Let's do that. Let's do that, Vegas.
Absolutely.
Take down Dallas.
And they have a. Let me see when they have a. So it starts off the Friday night game, and then Sunday at noon is game 2.
Genius.
That's where you get them with the hangover in Vegas.
Oh, come on. That is diabolical.
Right. So that's how I'm playing the series. Yeah.
Should be illegal to have a game in Vegas at noon.
Exactly.
Dallas
Even making
home,
a noon
right?
flight is tough.
Right.
Send the whores over.
So you
Sean.
take Dallas game 1 when they first fly in and they're all cocky and happy and they're going out with their Jaeger bombs. Then you fade them at noon on Sunday because Vegas knows how to. They're sleeping in their own beds.
I love
and
that.
Airbnbs, yeah, but they're still at Spearmint Rhino.
Do you know why the Vegas team is called the Golden Knights?
Oh, I assumed it was
The team's name.
medieval times like promo thing. Or
I thought
something.
honestly,
Excalibur was
not
involved.
joking. I thought it had to have something to do with that. The team's name includes Knights as a homage to the Black Knights of the United States Military Academy, who is the owner Foley's alma mater. Foley had hoped to name his team the Black Knights, but dropped the plan after encountering resistance from federal officials. Foley was unable to call the team name the Vegas Knights because the London Knights own the Knights name in Canada.
Wow.
Golden was included in the name because gold is, as Foley stated, the #1 precious metal, and because Nevada is the largest gold producing state in the country. I didn't know that.
Was that a Martin Lawrence movie too? Black Knights.
Yeah, where he travels back in time. I'm pretty sure it
I'm
is.
the first Black Knight.
And officially, they are not the Las Vegas Golden Knights; they're the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh, really?
Because
they
that's
dropped loss.
because that's what locals call it. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
All right, let's get to it. Lock, a dog. Just give us one bet that it is your lock, and then dog that is plus money. I'm keeping it simple. I think the Canes win game 1, -145. A little soft for the lock there, but or actually, you know what? I'll go Carolina for the series at -135. I like that a little bit better even than game 1. And then my dog, I think they win this whole damn thing. You can get them to win the Stanley Cup at let's see. I'm seeing +200. I'll take a shot at them to win it all. So give me Carolina at -135 for the series, and then them to win it all at +200. Kramer, what do you got? What's a lock and a plus money opportunity for the folks?
Before I do that, just to finish this out, the United States Army actually opposed their trademark of the Golden Knights because that's what their exhibition parachute team uses.
Oh, come on, that's cool.
They dropped their opposition after negotiating a trademark coexistence agreement, aka they had a nice trip to Vegas and some shit got sorted out.
Come on, they're pro-military.
This team was built on bribery, and by the way, the Clarkson University are also the Golden Knights, but they gave permission. All right, lock. I'm all in. I am 100%. When CJ just brought up the showmanship of the the Golden Knights, especially season, I love that angle. I love the fact that they have a noon game. Are they?
That is diabolical.
Will they go back to Dallas? Do they? They don't fly. They're hockey teams. They probably want to hang out, enjoy a pint or two. So for a lock, I think it has to be Vegas. The question is, how do we play this? Are we talking game 1 or overall series? Right.
Well, I mean, CJ was pointing out, Dallas might steal game 1
so
at -135. I feel like.
Yeah.
So do I just go
series?
Do I just go back to the vet? See, this one I do believe is going to be a long series. I absolutely think it's going to go to 7. So why don't we do Vegas and 7
as your lock or your dog?
As my lock.
Oh wow! Look at this.
That's
what do you see in that price? Right?
That's I'm seeing.
I want to say 375.
I see 4 to 1 there.
4.
I see 425.
Nice.
Shout out DraftKings. So plus 425 there, and for my dog, I'm going to do Carolina in 5 plus 550.
Woo!
Love
it. Calling your shots.
Big dog.
When you're
ice dog.
I'm trying to work. I'm trying to work out for a spot pulling CJ's sled over here. Let's go.
Hungry dogs run fast.
We lost a couple dogs in the last couple rounds. We had to push them to the side and keep on going.
They probably didn't die or anything.
Poor dogs.
So we are accepting applications. It's a tough race.
Ice dogs are open.
Literally tough sledding.
I'm just
CJ.
I'm just picturing Columbia and Colby sledding through the mountains down there.
I will go a quicker I'm gonna let your listeners and clients cash in a little quicker.
I like that, clients.
We're gonna go. We're gonna tell your clients, put them all on that over 5.5 tomorrow night for Florida, Carolina.
Love it,
especially at home. Carolina might get that on their own. I mean, they just and Florida has been a back and forth sieve. To think back to that Boston series, in the way to Toronto, it was just like every game. It was just like 7-5, 7-6. It was crazy. So 5.5 over Thursday after my lock, and then dog will come right back to the Ice Dog system. I did a rod style. Get the sledding. Dallas plus 115, game 1. Or 110, whatever you can get it at. And the Friday night bachelor party landing in Vegas. And then you go ahead and fade them at noon Sunday. And then and like you said, they drive back to Dallas, hangover style, getting their tuxes, getting their uniforms delivered to them on the road through a van.
Oh, I forgot. That was a great, oh man.
Yeah. If you want to play that, there's going to be a shitload of goals angle. 33.5 is the goal total for both series.
Oh, okay. Little DJ in action there.
And if you do think Dallas could win game 1, and like me believe Vegas is going to win the series, you can get plus 450 on that. I'm just going Vegas in 7 plus 425. Feels safer.
That's a fun way to do that.
Yeah. That's what I do here. I find I listen.
Value.
See, I learned that listening is sometimes better than speaking, and so I listen.
I've yet to learn that. Lesson.
Here's my favorite thing about the
Here's Kramer building his parlays.
Here's my favorite part about modern hockey betting is you can play I don't even know what you'd call it, but you can basically tie all the game results together. Mm-hmm. So let's just say,
lay out a whole series map.
Yes.
So let's just say we were building the CJ script where Dallas steals game 1.
Okay.
Vegas wins game 2.
Yep.
Dallas gets game 3. Vegas gets game 4. Wait, I'm on the wrong fucking one. Hold on. This one. No, hold on. Stand by. Here it is. Dallas game 1, Vegas game 2, Dallas game 3, and then Vegas game 4. Vegas. Actually, let's have Dallas win game 4. Vegas game 5. I don't have. I'm lost. I lost track. I was reading the wrong one again.
See, and that's what happens when you get to Vegas.
We're gonna find it.
Dallas is gonna also be confused like that.
Here it is. Dallas game 1, Vegas 2, Dallas 3 and 4, Vegas 5, 6, 7 is 55 to 1.
That's nice. That is nice.
700 billion and
that's a huge cash. All right.
There's a number of variations.
That's very doable.
We got some USFL picks coming up with Rum Dundee. Big thanks to the man in the box. Make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs. USFL coming up.
A lot of high danger conversions.
Taking a quick break to talk about Shady Rays. Oh man, love my Shady Rays. About to be joined by Rum Dundee, coming to you from Down Under, the original Down Under, down in Colombia. And hey, you got some trips planned for the summer. I just booked my trip to Costa Rica. Love going down there. And whenever I travel, I'm worried, oh man, am I going to lose my shades? Don't have to worry at all when you got Shady Rays, because they have an amazing lost and replacement policy. You lose your shades even on day 1, they will replace it. No questions asked. They got you covered. Love my Shady Rays. And then Canada, Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, got a bunch of listeners there. Get your Shady Rays. Go to shadyrays.com, use promo code SGPN, get 50% off 2 or more pair of these polarized sunglasses. Then take your receipt over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win the $500 Shady May contest. We're also brought to you by Talkify. That's right. Again, Talkify is great, man. They do all the heavy lifting when it comes to dating, matching, doing background checks, video interviews. They do all that stuff. They ask all the awkward questions that you don't want to ask on a first date. Talkify has you covered. Talkify matchmakers, they meet with you. They learn what you like. Maybe you like the wishbone. Maybe you like the triple option. Whatever it is, they will find you a girl or guy to match you up with. Talkify committed to finding your match. 80% of their clients met their person within their first 12 matches. It's a lead pipe lock if I ever heard one. Right now, Talkify is offering our listeners 20% off when you become a client at Talkify.com/SGPN. That's TAWKIFY.com/SGPN for 20% off when you become a client. Talkify.com/SGPN. Joining us on the line all the way from his bunker in Bogota, Colby Dant, aka the Dantabase, aka Cartel Colby, aka Rum Dundee. He's got a million nicknames. What's happening, Colby?
Just enjoying some Club Columbia, doing good. We're gonna have a rum in probably about an hour. Start my first rum of the day, guys. What you guys doing?
They say
Kramer, you're hearing it too, right? I'm not crazy.
Just sipping that beautiful.
You hold on. No, two things. First, I want to fire this off
sure.
because we love Shady Rays. The Shady Rays, dude, it keeps the rum from dripping on the face when you're down under. If you know what I mean. Colby, Sean, you laughed at me openly when I suggested that Colby actually has the lisp all the time,
and we just don't.
Don't notice it when he's not on a remote line. I think that might be the case, or could it be a southern hemisphere thing?
Yeah. Well, it's like when you actually speak the King's Spanish in Ibiza, you throw in that lisp. That could be the same thing. That could be the same thing going down in Colombia. I notice, Colby, you're completely clean shaven. I assume that's for wedding number 3 that we won't be invited to. That's
where the goat's involved.
We've been seeing the Rum Dundee videos. You got a goat, you got a hot air balloon. What's on the agenda coming up?
I think I got a scheduled. I'm gonna go horseback riding, so we're gonna maybe I'll run into Blob. Who knows? But yeah,
great transition.
Wait a second. Because we had reports that and it resurfaced. I don't know if TMZ is getting lazy with the same photo, but Colby, you unfortunately can't see this, but on the screen,
oh no, Blob's back.
Sean and Blob were horseback riding again. I don't know if that's why you're returning to Costa Rica. You mentioned you booked your trip.
Yep.
Is this a return now that Blob? I mean, Blob's got to know the season's going to end on time. There's going to be no postseason, so perhaps lining up your off-season schedules together, will there be a romantic horseback ride in Costa Rica this time with Blob?
I'm not all in on Blob, not quite yet, but I am all in on the Philadelphia Stars. I pulled a Benedict Dant on last week's episode, making a last-second switch to my Philadelphia Stars, which in hindsight was a great call. Had them on the money line plus 210, had them catching 6.5 points. They didn't need 6.5 points. All they needed was a historical performance from their field goal kicker, tying a college and professional football record with 8 field goals in one game. Colby, you gotta love a game that's decided by 8 field goals, right?
I do enjoy that, but I mean, unfortunately, he would have never made all 8 if it wasn't for that dome, that filthy dome they were playing in. And I mean, I guess you can flex because you won the game, but only 166 yards of offense, 2.9 yards of play. Meanwhile, the Generals, 6.7 yards a play. Darius Victor 3 fumbles, and then they also threw a pick. Yeah,
it's fine.
Well, crazy week 5. Of course, Memphis Showboats, they shocked the world, taking down the New Orleans Breakers. I thought it was a letdown spot for the Breakers. Little surprised they lost outright to the Showboats. Stallions lost as a 4.5 point favorite to the Gamblers, who won 27-20. The Maulers won outright. We were all on that. A guy said he paid his rent with the Maulers money line plus 155. They cruised 23-7. I think
let's talk about that.
Every dog won and covered in week 5 of the USFL. That would have been an awesome parlay to put together. Colby, is there a good team in the USFL? Because it doesn't look like it right now.
Yeah, I actually think almost every team minus Philly and Memphis is good.
Oh no!
But if 6 out of the 8 teams are good, then they can't really be good, because if they all can't be good, right?
We all know he likes half the league generally, but he's gotten up to 6 teams.
The North is crazy right now. The North, every team is 2-3, which again, I got to tout about my closing line value of my Maulers 22-1 future is looking amazing right now.
Is there a way for you to
get it? You can still get it at plus 800.
Yeah, Maulers. Oh no, Maulers are
down to 650. Steam getting steam.
When I did the show on Monday, it was at 800.
800. I mean, Memphis Showboats are 18-1 as a future, and they're 2-3 with a win over the Breakers. They're only a game back from the Gamblers in the South. I'm almost thinking about pulling the trigger on Memphis. But what was your big takeaways from USFL Week 5?
I mean, Troy Williams, who was the player of the week, the quarterback, former Utah Ute quarterback playing for the Pittsburgh Maulers, is a huge difference. This guy's led the team in rushing 3 straight weeks. They can't run the ball with their 2 white running backs, and then they also have Madre London, but their quarterback is capable of running the ball. Averaged 6 yards a carry, or just a shade under 6 yards a carry last week. He was also 15 of 19 for 79%, guys, for 184 yards, almost 10 yards of completion.
Efficient offense.
That defense would create 5 turnovers. I'm all in on the Maulers, and then I was impressed also with Carnell Lake's job he's doing on the defensive side of the ball for the Memphis Showboats. I still think Memphis doesn't look great offensively, but that defense has coming along. The defensive line, has played really, really good over the past couple of weeks.
I got a little distracted in there because came to my attention that obviously Blob sent you some sort of scandalous text during the show last week. Will you share it with the audience?
No, that's between me and Blob. I mean, we buried the lead. Of course, I went 3-1. ATS hitting my lock and my dog hitting at 60% after dominating.
Nice
the
job,
XFL.
Sean.
I mean, we don't have a separate XFL podcast on the schedule, but Renegades taking it home. We were all on Renegades +7, Renegades on the money line, and then that Renegades 10-1 already got the Bitcoin in my account.
Nice.
It was Colby. What do you make of the XFL championship before we get to week 6 picks here?
I mean, I cashed my future. I thought the league was rigged. It went exactly how I was. I hit on the over. I hit on it. It was fixed. The fix was in from the start. I mean, then never a sweat in that game. Absolutely ridiculous. They won the championship going 6-6.
Well, you play. It's tough to beat a guy 4 times, and that was the situation that was setting up for the Renegades quarterback. So, Kramer. Now I know in the office you were actually saying you liked the XFL better than the USFL. Yeah, because you thought the kick returns created a more competitive environment.
Clearly a better. Well, that was just for Colby. Clearly, the difference in the leagues is the special team. No, as I've marinated on these 2 leagues, it just annoys me. Now, year 2 of a mature spring league is not the same as year 1, where you can cherry pick the fact that most of the teams suck. I think Colby's probably right. I think maybe year 2 there's enough mediocrity. I still do think there's a couple good teams at the top, but it does seem like maybe it's just the fact that you have randomness with turnovers, 15 million field goals. Some
record-breaking field goals.
I would say the USFL so far,
quality
macro
play,
takeaway,
I do think is a little stronger.
Big mistake, not going right after the NFL season. Big mistake.
Oh, really?
Big mistake.
Because they let XFL eat their lunch.
Because you're right, it's better football, and I'm less interested in it for some reason.
Really though, because the ratings for the XFL were terrible mid-season competing against college basketball.
Because
that's the other thing. Like you could make the case where USFL is doing the right thing by kind of owning this time of the year. You're not competing that much against the NBA. You're down.
Maybe.
I guess you do have the PGA.
It's too far away from football though. It's almost like we're getting into summer mode. Like, all right, we got to recharge the batteries. About to preview every fucking team.
I think honestly. Start it when the NBA playoffs end.
XFL players have an advantage in terms of signing with NFL teams.
That is big. And shout out to Ben DiNucci, the Nooch. Everybody eats getting signed to the Denver Broncos. A number of the XFL players got the call up. That should have an impact, I would think, moving forward.
Big mistake.
If players are seeing like, oh wait, the XFL, you have a higher chance of getting signed than
and now that they'll both be in year 2.
Why is that? Why what's your argument there, Kramer? I don't understand.
Oh, just the timeline, just purely that it's a linear timeline. XFL's over. These guys are signing with the NFL. They're getting.
I mean, your camps don't really. I mean, I guess you have your.
No, but the mini camps that where you would get an opportunity to get signed are all happening post draft, and so essentially all the XFL players are being invited to these rookie mini camps where USFL players are still playing.
Yeah, like if USFL started before the XFL. maybe one of these USFL guys gets signed to the Broncos. It's not like they're going to go, hey, wait, we're going to hold off on signing a quarterback. We want to see how the XFL shakes out. They're not going to do that.
Serious take.
They put over 30 players in the league last year, signing in July.
I'm simply saying, like me as a fan of football, who's very into I'm very into the NFL, and I 100% think that making me wait and like the XFL was just in my face. I was more interested in it. The USFL is fine. I just think as a league, they should figure out a way to maybe like conferences, like the USFL, the US conference and the XFL conference, and just play one fucking league. You're Fox, right? Like let's just have workshop this real quick. What are you doing before the Super Bowl? Nothing. You're literally doing you're doing the Pro Bowl. That's dead.
Yeah.
Why is that not USFL week 1?
Oh yeah, Pro Bowl should be USFL week 1. Saturday before the Super Bowl, USFL week 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit the ground running.
My problem is that's March Madness. Like I followed the XFL, but I felt like it was really hard those couple weeks during March Madness to really pay attention to the US or to the XFL.
We did cancel our XFL show during March Madness.
That's true. That's fine.
So if we're checking out, I don't know what you do.
Well, I know what you do. You have games on fucking Monday and Tuesday for those weeks. You again.
That's what they really should do.
Find a way. Last
like
thing,
Merrill Hosh,
Luis Aguilar, the guy. Of course, your kicker, probably going to be on a horse next to you and Blob in Costa Rica. What college did he play at? And Colby will get the second stab. Since you're a big Stars guy, I figured you might know this. Which, by the way, 6'3", 200 pounds, not a normal kicking body.
East Carolina University.
East Carolina is way wrong. Colby,
Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona.
There you go. Let's go.
Really?
That's impressive.
Wow.
6'3", 200. Oh my god. 6'3", 200.
Hey, that's Stars football. Everyone, next man up.
Well, you guys know his dad, I believe, was a punter in the NFL for a long time in the 90s.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. He's from a town in the very southern part of Arizona. Probably got good Mexican food.
Let's get to it. Let's get
Maulers,
some picks.
Showboats. Again, USFL fucking up the schedule. They're somehow playing games in Memphis and Detroit, but not on the same day. TV executives, as Colby says, they don't know what they're doing. Maulers down to plus 650 on the futures market. Sean, all sorts of CLV in his back pocket. The Memphis Showboats, the home team here, they're 18-1. We were discussing this briefly before the show, but they are only catching 2.5 points here. They are only a game out of the playoff race, and they just beat the best team in their division. Plus 130 on the money line here. Pittsburgh minus 150. 42 is the total. From a futures perspective, it does seem like we should almost just auto buy this for a small amount, because it's still week 6. We still have there's some maturity that could happen. And if they win this week, again, only catching 2.5 points. I know we all
talking about the Showboats as a future. Yeah,
I know we all like the Maulers here, and we probably are all going to take them to win this game. But
you're right. I do think at 18-1 again, maybe
we wait till next week.
Well, that's the other thing. I just don't. I think win or loss, I don't think it's going to change dramatically their future price. I think I might have to fire this at 18-1. But for the game itself, I love the Maulers here. I mean, this defense is insane. We just mentioned it. Their offense is playing pretty efficient, and just a huge turnover discrepancy. Like, this Maulers team creates a ton of turnovers. Memphis may be smelling themselves after a huge win over the Breakers.
Their first win.
I think the spread would be much bigger, but I still think the odds makers. No, Memphis.
I just want someone.
Memphis has won
2 wins. I'm sorry.
They won 2 in a row.
I just want someone to do like a super cut up of every time you've used the Gatorade narrative.
Come on,
teams floating too high.
I nailed it last week. The Breakers were set up for a letdown game, and they got let the fuck down. I think this Maulers team is just firing on all cylinders again. Only 86 points allowed, number 1 in the league. And again, the North does better on the road. Stars with the first home victory, quote unquote, for the North, who are now 1-9 at home, but much better on the road for some reason. 7-3 on the road. I think this is. I think they're factoring in home field advantage for the Memphis Showboats, and we've realized there is no home field advantage in the USFL.
Well,
no one shows up to these games.
Everyone's got Will Levis fever, Sean.
I'm all over Pittsburgh -2.5, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it an official play. Memphis Showboats at 18-1, I think, is a good value for a future
What
team.
network is this game on? Don't look it up.
USA, I believe. Right?
USA, yeah. And actually, I at first glance, it's like this is silly. But do you know what else is on USA on Saturday mornings? Premier League.
Oh,
so they're actually giving it a little bit of an assist. You might get some accidental soccer crossover.
Hey, you're a fan of not real football? Stay tuned for the USFL. Colby, what do you got? Maulers Showboats.
Oh, all over the Maulers, man. I mean, Troy Williams, he didn't play in the first 2 games really, and he's the 6th leading rusher in the league now, and he's also the 7th leading passer in the league.
Probably
They're figuring things out on offense.
Play, right?
What's that?
Good DFS play, right?
Yeah, great DFS play, and I mean, we've said this even last year. The Maulers defense was decent. If they could find any offensive spark, they'll probably win games. The defense is even better this year. I've lobbied as a guy that's watched spring football for my entire life back to the NFL Europe days each year. I don't know that I've ever seen a defense this good in a spring league. So I'm all over the Maulers here.
Yeah, I mean they've played what we think is the best of the best in terms of offenses, and they haven't given up more than 24 points. Which in spring football land, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And again, I think the thesis on like just year 2, these teams kind of have a little bit more figured out. It does make sense to me that we're seeing a better brand of football. But yeah, no, I can't take the Showboats. I like your angle though, Sean. So I like your futures angle too, but it does. On one hand, it can't really get much longer, so I do wonder if it goes down if they lose here. But I'm with Colby. I think this Pittsburgh team has played some really good teams as well, and so their record is disguised here. All in. Let's go. Lay the 2.5. I'm breaking the gambling rule. Birmingham, the Stallions, they're heading to Michigan to take on the Panthers. They actually are heading to Michigan, so that works. This game's on Fox, 1 p.m. on the West Coast. I mean, I know Colby loves this Michigan Panthers team still. The futures discrepancy here, 360 for the Birmingham Stallions. Michigan 10-1, catching 6 in the spot, 2-1 on the money line. Birmingham -240, 44.5 is the total.
I mean, the Michigan Panthers just have not, obviously going up against the Maulers, they certainly hurt them because obviously the Maulers are a great defense. But you look at the last few weeks for the Panthers, their offense, 13, 10, 7. I'm trying to find the most they've scored in a game. I don't think they did get up to 24 against the Stars all the way back in week 2. But other than that, they have not scored more than 3 points. This offense is pretty inept. I think they're going to have trouble putting up points. I think this is a nice bounce back game for the Stallions, who I do think are a much better team here. And again, the game is in Detroit, Michigan. Doesn't matter. No fans come out regardless. So don't factor in any sort of home field advantage.
How do they not get it? Like, how do you not entice people to come out? Like, do they not know how to market?
I don't know. It's weird. I mean, the XFL, you saw the Beer Snake, you saw the Battle Hawks. Like, they actually had full stadiums. USFL,
problem number one.
You can't be playing in those NFL stadiums. To start your league, that is stupid. And let's be honest, the city of Detroit is half empty. So in general, the city is half empty. The stadium's half empty.
No, they're not doing themselves favors by playing at Ford Field.
Soccer stadiums.
Yeah, play at the MLS stadiums. I mean, there were more. On that T-ball field where the Vipers play, there was more fans that we've seen in these. And it's not only that it's not filling out; it's just like complete death. There's no one there.
Well, Sean, you would think we've ridiculed the time slots because they're owned by a league, right? So they don't care about the fan experience of catching 2 games in a row,
but now
they care about the time slot. And if you're putting TV execs in charge, you would think they would know that the game would look better with the full crowd. So let's maybe move it to a stadium with 15,000 seats, like Eastern Michigan's or something,
Yeah, colleges also could potentially work there. I mean, Michigan hasn't been good since the very start of the season. I think that's
the first
most
2 games they had, 29, 24 points. showed some semblance of an offense, and they've just not been able to move the ball at all. I think this number is a little short because of the Stallions letdown game last week, but I'll take Birmingham laying the 6 here.
Birmingham needed this. They needed to they needed to feel something after that champion. It's a championship hangover, classic. Just like the Bengals, starting slow. Now they'll pick it up. Yeah, and to the point of we were on the Jeff Fisher sucks. This is a massive upgrade. Just not having him. I don't know. Maybe that was just a 1 or 2 game bump, like when Dane Campbell took over for the Dolphins and had him doing Oklahoma drills in December. Wears off after a little bit. All right, let's hop over. Everyone's
hold on. I'm on the Panthers. Give me the Panthers plus 6. Birmingham's got too many injuries, man. They got too many injuries. Michigan, if they can limit the red zone turnovers, they've actually been able to move the ball. They just haven't been able to score because Josh Love is a turnover machine in the red zone. But give me the Panthers.
Ben DiNucci of the USFL.
Yeah.
I knew Colby was going to be on Michigan.
No, I'm sticking with Birmingham. Yeah, let's go.
Although worth pointing out, I've been really awful at picking USFL games so far. Sunday, 9 a.m. The New Orleans Breakers are also in Detroit with the Philadelphia Stars. Stars, Sean, 11-1 on the future.
Yep.
Blob probably phoned you about that one too. Maybe a dick pic or something. Plus 275 for the Breakers. -7 in this spot. -315 on the money line. Stars catching another plus 260. Sean, 47.5 is the total. It seems like they're saying the Stars' performance last week was all bullshit. This is a home spot for Philly.
Is it there? Well, and again, their kicker very familiar with kicking conditions.
Yes,
I'd say he breaks the record. He kicks 9 field goals. Wow. They squeak by the Breakers 27-26. We saw some cracks in the levee when it comes to the New Orleans Breakers last week in their loss to the Showboats. I mean, you only put up 10 points on that Showboats defense. I think that's that's an indication you are not the dominant offense we once thought you were. I think the Stars team, I think that victory went a long way for them. Give them a little bit of confidence. Like their offense can't get worse, and they're catching 7 points. Defense not horrible as well. I mean, their defense kept them in that game. I think they're going to keep them in this game as well. So I think the fact that they're getting a free 7 points, I just don't think I think this should be like 4.5. So I'll take the Stars catching the big number.
Phil Steele named Luis Aguilar an All-American 3 straight years in college. This motherfucker was 9 of 17 from field goals his last year. I mean, he was really good from extra points, only missing 96 and 97.
He's back, man.
But
he's back.
To be fair though, the Big Sky, which Northern Arizona's in the Big Sky, you play a lot of those games in at Montana State, at Eastern Washington, at Weber State. So you are in the a lot of crazy weather.
9 of 12 from inside 49 yards. That's pretty good for a college kicker. Anyway.
What are you doing, Kramer?
I'm curious what Colby's going to do.
Colby,
I'm on the Breakers. The Stars were a great little kicking magic, but you averaged 2 yards a play.
The Stars shine bright deep in the heart of Detroit, Michigan. Kukas with the lasers.
Can I ask a serious question?
Sure.
You got a kicker, 6'3", 200 pounds. How's he not playing 2 positions in spring football?
Well, it's like Colby said. You need that. You need to put your best athlete at kicker, or no, I guess a holder. That's where you need your best athlete.
Well, I guess if he's also your kicker, that works.
I've long lobbied that we should get rid of kickers and punters and make them actually have to be a football player that kicks it or punts it. That'd be pretty awesome. But it seems like the Stars are following my lead. The Breakers are just a flat out better team. McLeod, Bethel, Thompson. This was okay. They lost a game, but they were right there in the thick of it. I think they bounced back. The Stars' run defense has been a weakness all year long, really both years. New Orleans has the leading rusher in the league, and Wes Hills. I think he goes off, and I think McLeod, Bethel, Thompson limits the turnovers. That's why the Generals lost the game. Is 4 turnovers, a couple of those right on the verge of being a touchdown. Breakers won't make those mistakes. Lay the 7.
Bring back the square toe shoe as well. Bounce back spot for the Breakers. Although name still offends me, I'm going to lay the points here. Still looking for those USFL teasers. When the books stop being cowards, I'll be here. Love New Orleans in a teaser here. Lots of key line value movement there. 1 p.m. on Sunday, last game. Again, we're back at Memphis, so we're in 2 cities over 2 days. Doesn't make any sense. The Generals of Jersey are taking on the Gamblers of Houston. Houston down to 750 in the futures market. Jersey still holding strong, 4-1. I think it actually went down after their loss to Philly. Oh no, they were plus 380 last week. So basically no change. Minus 4.5 in this spot. Minus 180 on the money line. 155 for the Gamblers. 45.5 is the total. Bad matchup for the Gamblers. Instant regression with the turnovers. Give me Jersey.
I don't think so. I think this Gamblers offense has really figured something out, and the fact that you're given this electric offense 4.5 points. I mean, they're coming off a game they put up 27 against Birmingham. Pretty good defense before that. They absolutely annihilated my Stars 41-16. I think this. I mean, Houston. You could make a decent case. They have the best offense in the league. You can't give the best offense in the league 4.5 points, especially considering the Generals' issues on offense. I think this is a great.
What
spot.
are their issues on offense?
I just don't.
Bad fumble luck.
Yeah,
for a game.
Not bad fumble luck. Ryan, come on. They're not
fumbling
a
is random
offense.
as shit. You know that.
It's random as shit.
Fumbling's not random.
No, it's not.
Okay.
They put up 17 against the Breakers. They put up 21 against the Stars. They're not like an elite defense or offense. I just don't think they are. This could be a shootout for Houston.
I like the.
I think they're a live dog. I just think this Generals defense isn't what we thought it was coming into the season. Colby.
The line smells a little bit to me, considering Houston's got the longest win streak in the league, but they're without Kenji Bahar still. Remember, Terry Wilson played last week. He did have a 50-yard touchdown deep ball, but besides that, the passing game wasn't really existent. I think the line, even reflecting this, is telling you to take the New Jersey Generals, because I think they correct their mistakes and get the dub here in the Liberty Bowl.
Play the sharp, or play the sword, please. See that's a sharp USFL handicapper right there. He sees what's going on with the line, and he says, "Sean, great take, horrible position. You want a Benedict? You want a Benedict immediately."
Well, I like their rushing game. I mean, they are. I'm surprised Colby didn't like them. I mean, they ran the ball 34 times. 3 rushing touchdown, 4 yards per carry. Like they're to your point, their passing offense hasn't lit it up, but I think the ball control stuff has opened them up, and I think they're a live dog.
Are we interested in the betting splits? Sharps coming into the market early. Obviously, we'll be swaying this. Memphis and Pittsburgh is a split result, where more of the bets coming on Memphis, like the chalky public, aka Sean. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh getting 66% of the handle, aka the sharps like me and Colby, laying the 2.5. Birmingham, the opposite. They're catching more of the bets. Michigan, sharp side, getting more of the action. Wow, Colby's on all the sharp positions this weekend. Breakers, 97% of the handle, only 63% of the bets. So lay the chalk against the Stars. Getting no love, Sean. An underdog from Philly, only 3% of the money so far on the Stars. And the Generals are getting 99% of the action.
Oh, well, that's super sharp when 99% of the bets are on it.
The money is that's why the line's moving, Sean. Come on. You know how gambling works.
All right, time for a lock and dog, brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Pay it back in 4 equal weekly installments. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/edge for all the details there. Kramer, what do you got for your lock and your dog?
So I do I think riding this Pittsburgh train makes a lot of sense to me. Now I have re-enabled my just lay the chalk model in the USFL. Again, how was that last week? It's not been good. It's not been good. But Pittsburgh, we're gonna lay the 2.5.
Oh
there.
no,
that's the lock.
You're putting the kibosh on my Maulers. All right.
And then for my dog, I think we're just gonna go for a New Orleans Stallions parlay.
Money line or with the points?
No, lay the points.
New Orleans -7, Birmingham -6. Of course, Kramer on all favorites here. What could go wrong?
What do you mean what could go
for
wrong?
my lock, give me the Birmingham Stallions. Wild Stallions run wild in Detroit, Michigan.
Wow.
For my dog, I'm a rambler. I'm a gambler. Give me Houston on the money line plus 155. Great price, great opportunity there to fade the NJGs. Colby, what do you got?
I am locking up the Maulers too. I'm buying in. Like I said, best defense I've seen in the spring.
You guys are going to ruin my future.
And they're just gonna. Todd Haley. I still don't have confidence that offense is good. And then the dog is the Michigan Panthers on the money line. I think Birmingham's got so many injuries. If Michigan can just limit the turnovers in the red zone, they can win this game.
Colby and I crossed our streams to take Pittsburgh together on the money line last week. So positive sign when Colby and I are both on Pittsburgh.
All right. Yeah, you guys, Colby's on the Michigan Panthers money line. Pitt -2.5 for your lock. My lock, Birmingham -6. Houston on the money line. Kramer with a parlay for his dog.
Yeah, obviously.
New Orleans -7, Birmingham -6 because you did not pick a underdog, and then Pittsburgh -2.5 for your lock. Colby, what do you got coming up podcast wise while you're down there? What are we doing down there?
Yeah.
Later tonight, we will have the college football experience as we continue our breakdown on each week. But also, we're going to be talking the ACC. I don't know if Real Money Kramer's been alerted to this, but 7 teams, they're calling them the Magnificent Seven, have basically that it takes 8 to leave the ACC to avoid that contract. If they get an 8th team, they could create their own conference, or I'm hearing a lot of talk that the Big 12 might be interested in picking up a lot of the ACC teams.
The Hokies aren't part of that 7, right?
They are.
Oh, they are.
And Virginia, surprisingly. Surprisingly, UVA was in there.
That's the Illuminati stuff, dude. Like that, they are always going to be involved.
Well, we'll be talking all that and the transfer portal as it continues to be absolutely crazy. So subscribe to the College Football Experience. We're breaking down all 133 teams very shortly.
What's real quick take? What's the better outcome for these ACC teams? Bundle up with the Big 12?
I do think that makes more sense because UCF is going to be making more money than Florida State and Miami starting this year. And it makes a lot of sense because we don't know that the SEC and Big 10 theoretically, if the right situation came up down the line, I think they'd be very interested in Clemson and Florida State. But at the moment, I don't know that they are.
Easy.
Same with the Big 10.
And cut ties with those Northerns and send Syracuse and Boston College back to the Big East, where they belong. Dino Babers bringing that electricity to the Big East.
Smash that subscribe button for the College Football Experience. Smash the subscribe button for the Sports Gambling Podcast, aka the podcast you're listening to, the #1 leader in your fight against corporate gambling.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Ciao,
Kramer. Let it ride. Dong, dong.